Yes, people, welcome back to Albert J TV. It's that time again, intro time. Yes, people, welcome back. Welcome back to Albert J TV. As you can see, I'm not alone. As you guys will have known, there's been some breaking news this morning, which we are going to cover. Let me introduce my fellow homie, my fellow gooner, Joe. How's things, mate? How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Before I start this podcast, it's not going to be a very long one, or live stream, should I say. I'm going to introduce I've got another guy coming in. Big Goon, what's happening, bruv?
I'm all right, thanks, man. How are you?
Good timing, man. You just beat the intro. But yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's the first time I had you on my channel. Yeah, man, we've got to support the Arsenal community, man. So yeah, glad to get you on, bro.
Thanks for having me on, man. How's everyone today?
Yeah,
not
good,
bad, man. We woke up to some interesting news, as you know. Before we get into it, I know this subject comes with government health warning. So for the likes of me and Big Gunner, who've got YouTube channels, and Joe, who's very active on Twitter, our followings might go down considerably depending on what we say.
That don't bother me.
Yeah, it's guy, boys, it's mad. Like the Mesut Ozil thing has been a noose around our neck for such a long time, whatever camp you're in. So yeah, let's kick off and get straight into it. So I'm thinking to myself, I was going to do a live stream anyway, but how am I going to sort of do it? I'm not going to do any sort of mad research. I'm just going to ask you guys initial thoughts when Ornstein dropped the tweet at 10:21 a.m. this morning. Big Gun, I'm going to start with you. What was your initial first thoughts about the news about Mesut Ozil?
To be fair, it is what it is. It's just dragged out for so long. It's just a shame it's just ended like this, to be fair. I don't know. I just don't even know what to say, to be honest. Like, how did we have one of the world's best players at the time when we signed him and gave us two really top seasons, and then it's just faded from then. I put a bit of blame on the player, put blame on Wenger, and I put blame on the German national team. I put everybody's to blame, to be honest. The fans, everybody, like, we've all had a part to play in it. But yeah, it's just sad. It's just the way it's ended has been sad for me.
So I'm going to touch on Cheers, Big Girl. Sam Greenwood, listen, man. Like I said at the start of the stream, this comes with government warning. This stream, because Mesut Ozil is a very, very touchy subject. Yeah. Joe, I'm going to come to you. As you guys will know, you guys on social media, Twitter, Instagram, particularly Twitter, there's a few, how can I put this? A few big accounts out there that are not particularly happy with the news when they woke up this morning about Mesut Ozil. But Joel, yeah, what's your initial thoughts when you saw the breaking news this morning, mate?
It's like Big Gunner was saying, it's almost like a finally, really, isn't it? You know, it's been going on. I think 7.5 years, they said?
Yeah.
And, you know, like we were saying, it's 2.5 years of sort of greatness in a 7.5 year period. But then when you're looking at all the injuries, you know, supposed injuries, the back problem, all this sort of thing, it starts to, I don't know. It's almost like you've had enough now. Do you know what I mean? It is time to go. That's a lovely photo.
There he is. That's the man.
That's not me talking, by the way. I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad it's been resolved, really. And still kind of a bit shocked that it has been resolved, as it's kind of dragged on for so long.
No, I think you echo a lot of fans' thoughts. Like I said, before I come, I'm gonna Ryan, a good time. You timed it well actually. We sort of just started touch on the Mesut Ozil thing, and I said to the guys that this subject comes with government warning. It's a touchy subject for a lot of people. It is. It's scary. My time as an Arsenal fan, I've never, and even I've got mates that support other clubs, as I'm sure you guys have got, and they've said to me like they don't understand how one footballer can cause so much division within a fan base. They said it's insane, and that's from people that don't support Arsenal. So yeah, Ryan, I'll come to you, mate. So yeah, I said to the guys, what was your initial thoughts when the news broke this morning? What was like your first feelings, mate, about the Mesut Ozil thing?
In the words of Dwayne Johnson, finally he's gone. Thank God. That is the best way to put it. I'm glad, because now this whole beef within the Arsenal fan base can finally end. The guy just hasn't exactly been great in the last few years. I've said it before. I wanted Ozil out when Sanchez was going, because even from then, I thought he's just not up for it no more. Yeah. Both of them were not up for it. And I thought at the time, if I had to pick the two, I'd have probably leaned more to Sanchez at that time. But everyone was Ozil this, Ozil that, you know. And it's crazy because I've spoken to my cousin a few times, and he supports Chelsea, and he kept saying to me, "I don't understand why you guys hate Ozil so much." And I've had to explain to him, you know, he doesn't turn up enough. Where was the last time you seen Ozil turn up against Chelsea? He said he can't remember. There's so many times Ozil for me has just showed that he's not interested. He doesn't look like he can be bothered. And Joel said it at best. How many times are we going to hear bad back? I mean, for crying out loud, it's annoying. And I feel we missed the boat on trying to ship him out ages ago. But I'm glad it's now on it. We could just move on, and hopefully the Ozil fanboys can go as well, because I'm sick and tired of them as well.
Right,
idiots. We don't know ball. I remember comments like that. Okay.
That hits home with a lot of Arsenal fans. But yeah, guys, before I get into that's the sort of second aspect of talking about Mesut Ozil, because I don't want to spend too long on it, because you know what, no player's bigger than the football club, or managers, shall I say. So yeah, guys, before we get into it, you guys should know what to do by now, viewers. There you have it. So Ryan, I'm going to say, where can the guys find you before I move on to the second part? Sorry, mate.
No worries. You can find me on Twitter at RJ Wills and on YouTube at Ryan Williams FC.
No, nice one. Yeah, guys, viewers, people in the chat, thank you for joining the live stream. Smash the like button straight away and support my fellow gooners in the Arsenal community. Have to stick together, man. And obviously, I would say probably more so with there's still a lot of issues at Arsenal. Let's not get it right, but I think this was not even arguably one of the biggest ones. So yeah, let me give you my quick thoughts before I sort of get into the second part. Yeah, for guys who see my content, since I started been doing my YouTube thing since June last year, I would say probably anything I spoke about in regards to Ozil, that has generated a bit more talk than any other subject, put it that way. And I said it before, if you look at Carlo Ancelotti's comments about Mesut Ozil before he signed for Arsenal, and that's quite a long time ago, I think they're quite relevant to probably him as a player and possibly even his time at Arsenal. He never ever questioned his ability as a footballer. He never did. But he questioned his character. And one thing I did question at a time with Mesut Ozil, the latter part of his time at Arsenal, was, does he actually have the desire to play football anymore? And then people will throw the argument at us to say, oh yeah, but he's won the World Cup, so maybe he doesn't, the desire is not there. But then I look at footballers that have won major tournaments and still play at club level at a reasonably high standard or to a world-class standard. So that's not a good reason. When he left Madrid, when he come to Arsenal, let's have it right. As much as we love Arsenal, let's be honest, it was a downgrade for him. It's very rare you're going to play in a team. You have to feel players around Mesut Ozil in nearly every position that are top quality. So not every side's going to have a Sami Khedira, a Toni Kroos, a Marcelo, a Varane, around you. When you come to Arsenal, he's not going to have that. But Joe, you made a good point. I thought, and Gunnar, the first 2 years, fair play. We can't believe we signed him, but we did get him. But soon when he signed the contract, it's been downhill, man. And unfortunately, you can't have a footballer at the club who just plays home games. It's insane. Go on, Big Gunner, come in, mate. Go on, bro.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I think it's a mixture of both things. When we signed him, I mean, we all watched Mesut play for Real Madrid, and when we signed him, what we knew about him was, like you're saying, the team. Whether you build the team around him or if you just have players that are of the same, they're on his wavelength. Yeah. So when you check it, he's gone from passing the ball to Ronaldo. Because I was watching some clips today, the balls he was giving Ronaldo, the balls he was giving Benzema, and then it sort of flips, and then now he's giving the ball to bloody Yaya Sanogo. And I mean, as much as I love Olivier Giroud, he's not Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And then I think the connection that him and Sanchez had was massive, and then it's no coincidence that both of them, once they broke up from each other, it was over for both of them. Like both of their careers have actually just finished from that moment that they were broken up. But I think when you give someone that contract, that much money, it's always going to cause issues, because they're going to be players that are probably looking at him and thinking, okay, I put more effort in than this guy. So someone like Aaron Ramsey, who gave us 100% every week, when it came to contract time, he was probably thinking, okay, I deserve what he's getting, or at least close to what he's getting. And I think those sort of things mess up the change room. So as much as, some of it's Ozil's fault for not just having that drive, you have to blame the club for thinking that was ever a smart idea, giving him that contract, even on the basis of we know what he can do, but he wasn't Sanchez where he would do scruff of the neck, like just pick up the game and just run with it himself. He was never that player. So I think on this particular issue, I'm going to say it's Ozil, it's Arsene Wenger, and it's the club. Like they all can have 33 points. They're all culpable in this issue, and I'm just glad it's over. Like for his sake, for our sakes, for Twitter's sake, I'm just glad that the whole thing's over. To be honest,
hopefully the PR can bloody stop, man.
Nice. Now it's on to Paul Pogba, isn't it? So let's just go laugh at them now.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Ryan. Joe, let me come to you. Sorry, mate. Sort of touching on what Big Gunner was saying in terms of his career in entirety at Arsenal. Like, what like your thoughts? What have you made of his career at Arsenal, generally speaking?
Problem is, it's been tainted, isn't it? This is the problem. Like, I remember when he arrived, the buzz. When they announced him,
mad buzz.
Whether we ever get anything close to that again, because to be fair, like all us lads will agree, it was unreal.
Yeah,
it was amazing, that announcement. And we were like, bloody hell, we've landed a player of that quality, and he just came with it, didn't he? The price tag, the ability, German national with so many caps. You thought, we've landed here, we've got a perfect signing, and he did hit the ground running, didn't he? Like Big Gunner was saying, for sort of, that first sort of 2.5 year period. And then it just slowly, piece by piece, stuff started to happen, and it chips away at you as fans, because, we kind of put all our eggs into one basket with those. And then one by one, they just slowly broken and got taken out, didn't they? And I think by the end of it, like Ryan was saying, it gets to that point where it's finally, it's like, it needs to happen now, because the changing room was fractured. There was, other relationships going on, like with the Guendouzi side of things as well. I think he's been quite instrumental with the breakdown there in some respects. And you wonder what else has kind of been going on behind the scenes. And, I just hope it works out for him. The whole German thing, the national thing, I think, that was disgraceful against him. But other things, you just kind of think, you haven't done yourself any favours with this tweet or your PR team, and it just hasn't helped over time, has it? But it would be a shame to see someone of that class go, but we didn't see enough of that class during the time he was with us.
No, fair point. No, good points, Joel. Right, I'm going to come to you. The same question, my friend. Before I get you to answer, I'm going to say my 2 pennies, and I'll bring you in, bruv. I think one of the telling points of Mesut Ozil's time at Arsenal, we can talk about the contract situation till we're blue in the face. It's it's going to come to a point now where he's, the news broke this morning, he's going to leave eventually in the next up and coming days. But I go back to Europa League final. I think some Arsenal fans that day just had enough of him. We're getting humiliated in a Europa League final. And he's walking off the pitch as if, we've got 2 hours to play. And I think a lot of, and I think people don't forget. They remember, and I think going back that far, I think some Arsenal fans are in the boat of, I'm just done with him. So yeah, right, let me come to you, mate. Yeah, what's your thoughts of his career at Arsenal? Yeah, give me your thoughts, bro.
It's difficult because, again, like Joel said, like Gunnar said, I mean, the first few years were great, What I've always said, this problem with Arsenal, we never built around him. And we never had those players that allowed him to have the freedom to do what he was doing at Real Madrid. Like, we didn't have no defender, no holding midfielders to allow him to do what he needed to do. But on the other hand, he just got lazy and he just got fed up after time. And, Joel said it as well. Once Sanchez went, he just kind of gave up. And I think the whole German national team thing was kind of the real stabbing point of.
I think that killed him. I think that killed him more than anything else. Like, you could visibly just see, he just like, when you can just see someone just look like they just don't care about anything. And I think that because of what he had done for them and what they had achieved together, I think that was a real turning point. And unfortunately, it was just bad for everyone, for Germany, for Arsenal, and for Mesut. So yeah, that was a massive turning point in my eyes as well.
No, guys,
we just have to deal with it.
All right, sorry, bro.
I'll quickly say this: like, we just had to deal with the whole unmotivated Ozil after that, and how would you pick him back up at X, Y, and Z? And like I said, I wanted him out by the whole when Sanchez went. I wanted him gone as well, and I felt we should have just pursued with Ramsey. And like you touched on it as well, Gunnar, I felt when Ramsey looked at the situation of Ozil getting a contract, he thought, well, fuck this. I've done more for you. I've broken my leg for you. And you're treating me like this. So fuck it, I'm off. Which, a part of me is like, I don't really blame him for that. Because if you were treated like that, you broke your leg for a team and you still get disrespected, then I don't blame you. But on the other hand, it just goes back to they didn't do enough, Arsenal as a club, to, build around him as well. And it's a lot in it, but at the end of the day, he's gone now. We can move on, and this was the biggest, one of the biggest pieces next to the owners and down below in terms of moving Arsenal forward. He really needed to go for everybody's sake. But the Europa League for me still is a pain in me, because that season I thought, I'll give you one last chance, because we got a new manager now.
I think from then a lot of people sort of turned,
Just as a club, I think we just have to just be careful because we've always had. So even I don't know who left first. Is Van Persie or Fabregas? Fabregas left first, didn't he? So from that sort of time, it was we've got this world class player. How do we keep them? What do we build around them? Like we offer them contracts, but when we're offering them contracts, I'm guaranteed that we're telling them we're gonna build on this. We're gonna get you this player. We're gonna get you. So it's the same with Aubameyang. We've told this guy. We must have told him that we're gonna get reinforcement.
Deja vu.
And then it just looks like the same thing. Like you can visibly see when people switch off. Same with Sanchez. He was probably told, you know what, just stick with us. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And I think that's where we're going wrong. Like, if you know that we're not going to get these people in, don't lie to them. Just sell them. Don't break the bank to keep them. And then we have for 3 years a player that doesn't want to play for us. Just at that time, just sell them, and then just try to build something else. Because at the moment, I think when we get a genuine world class player, we don't do enough to build around that player, and then we're just in the same position that they switch off after the second, third year.
Yeah, Big Gunner, you make a good point at Ryan as well. Like, and Joel, you made the points that and I can't believe I can't believe I'm going to say it. In Ozil's defense, listen, as much as I have my views about him in terms as a footballer, people can talk about the political issues of humanitarian issues, like which he speaks very well about. But that's in isolation. But you're right. There's been a systemic failing at Arsenal in terms of, I would say, our midfield players in particular, that we do not build around them. That's obvious. Like Ozil, Fabregas, we could go down so many timelines of players we've had now. Yeah, and I think it's telling about Arsenal, the football club, when people will have their thoughts about Van Persie. I'm not here to change people's minds about him. They've got their views about him, but when he highlighted recently that, they're showing him books and figures of what Arsenal were doing. And he's saying, like, fuck that, man. Like, come on, man. Like, I want to know who we're bringing in. Like, what's the ambition of the club? And that's relevant. And, Van Persie left a long time ago, guys, man. Like, this is not knee-jerk.
As well.
Yeah, it's mad.
Sorry. He told him in the letter,
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like all I just want now is just them just to move on and just not lie to us. Because if they can honestly tell me that they left Mesut Ozil out of the squad for footballing reasons, then I just feel like I've been lied to. Because if you honestly telling me, I know they're not the same position, but if you're honestly telling me someone like Nelson or El Neni or Willian is better technically footballing than Ozil, then you're having a laugh and you're just lying to me. So that's all I want now. Is just us to just move forward. It's done now. He's gone. Just like, let's get rid of Willian. Let's get rid of Louise. Let's just move on now. Like, just run with these young kids and see what we could do, man.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, and I'll say, go on, Ryan.
Sorry, Albert. But the thing is, even going back to that, right? Why is Willock not on loan? But he needs a loan.
He's never been on loan.
Never been on loan as well. He needed a loan move badly. Yeah. So did Nelson, because he's still late up to it. But you want to freeze Ozil out completely. I mean, we get at Ozil because he doesn't show enough on the pitch. But like, I kind of wonder. We got Partey in now. I kind of wondered. Let's see what happens with this. You've only got a bit left now. Do you know what I mean? Why not? But we didn't even bother with that. And we've been lied to so many times. This club doesn't surprise me. Too many times. This is why a lot of us are just like, when they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna spend big money. Whatever, man. I believe when I see it.
Yeah, you know that's true. Yeah. Talking is one thing, but we're gonna finish up on that. So Mesut Ozil, man, 254 games, 237 starts, 44 goals, 72 assists, 737 chances created. The stats don't lie, my friends. So, I want to sort of get you guys' views on. Obviously, I've not spoken to Ryan and Joe about this in regards to our last Premier League game. And I must admit, no offense to anybody, but I'm glad I didn't join for a watch along for that game, if I'm being brutally honest.
Me and Ryan had a really good sleep.
I'm not surprised, man. But Joe, Yeah, Joe, I'm gonna come. Joe, I'm gonna come to you first. Guys, drop your comments in below. Thanks to the guys in the chat being very active. Smash the like button if you haven't, and come and follow my guys and get them on their social medias and their YouTube channels, please, man. Yeah, I'm gonna Joe come to you, mate. The Palace game. Yeah. What did you make of the Well, you can incorporate quite a few things. So the lineup, and what did you think of the? What was your thoughts on the game, mate?
Initially, I thought it came down to, well, we just couldn't seem to finish again.
Yeah,
that's what it came down to, because there were, the lads were working hard, to be fair, to get the ball there, but it just weren't happening. Yeah, I do love the hoodie. It is cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Class,
yeah, it made me realise that Maitland-Niles can't play in that position. And nothing seemed to gel. Nothing seemed to gel. You know, 1 minute, Ryan will tell you the same. 1 minute we were going, oh, Xhaka, get off, Xhaka. And then the next minute he'd go and do something to, he'd block a potential, winner. And you think it was one of those games where nothing just seemed to work at all. And my worries, we went 90 minutes against Newcastle with no goal. We've now gone 90 minutes again with no goal, and we've got Newcastle again. So something's got to break, or we're going to end up sliding back into that no goal situation again.
Yeah. But
the only good thing was, I suppose, was Willian didn't, didn't play.
There was one better thing than that, mate. But we've got a clean sheet. But
yeah, and to be fair, and the thing is, we can't. Leno, I'd say, in the last 2-3 games has been superb.
When called upon,
against Newcastle in the cup, and I mean that was superb keeping. To be fair, 3 on the spin, and then a superb save the other day. So I know there's a lot of Martinez fanboys out there as well, which is fine because it did cause that. I know, but he's kind of proved his worth in his last couple of games. To be fair,
yeah, no, fair play. Big Gun, I'm gonna come to you, mate. Yeah, the same thing. How can I say this? So first, before I ask you about your thoughts on the game, do you think it was 2 points dropped or 1 point gained? Looking at the wider context of the game,
everybody it's not even everybody's going to come with the same answer. It's 2 points dropped, isn't it? But I'd rather drop 2 points than drop 3 points and have another loss. I think we're going to see in the Premiership as a whole, we're going to see a lot of games like that for a while, where both teams, we just look knackered. And I know that there was quite a few players taken out of the team from the Newcastle game before. I know we made 7 changes in the Newcastle game, so that game was always going to be hard because they haven't played together. And then again, I know there was changes through injuries and stuff in this game. But yeah, I just I'm not that. The game doesn't bother me because I just thought, we look tired. The games are going to come thick and fast now, so all the teams are going to have 1 or 2 of those performances, and I just feel like we're not losing that game as in the past. We were losing that game. So a clean sheet is, for me, that's all we can take from that game in particular.
That was the only positive, for me.
That's the only positive. But yeah, if Xhaka's our best player again, if he's our best player defensive wise, then that's an issue. But it is what it is, isn't it? We've got Newcastle, and we just need to just dust off and go again. Hopefully, Tierney's back, because the way we're playing at the moment, our attacking is coming from our fullbacks. And as much as I like Maitland-Niles, he just offered us nothing in a flat back 4. He offers you nothing. So, hopefully we get a couple of the players back. glad we didn't. I thought we was going to concede without Mari, actually, to be fair, because if you look at Louise and Holding, they both got a mistake in them. But while Mari's been playing, they've both looked a bit more like they actually have a brain for football.
A bit more sure.
He just brings that calming influence on them. So, but yeah, you know what? Just don't lose games. That's it. That's what we've got to look at from now to the end of the season. Is don't lose games, because we've lost 7 or 8 already. Like you shouldn't even lose that much in a whole season, and to have lost it that many and we're only halfway through.
Yeah.
I just don't care now. It's just don't lose games, man.
No, that's true. No, I'm gonna Ryan, before I come to you, I'm gonna say my 2 pennies. I hear the point about tiredness, but I would probably argue against that to say that we've seen these performances from Arsenal most of the season. We don't start well. We don't finish well. I think the game against Palace was a wake-up call. Even though we had a bit of momentum with 4 wins on the spin, 3 in the league and 1 in the FA Cup, it was a big wake-up call, and it was it showed to me that we cannot just keep on relying on the youngsters. Yes, we know Martinelli's out due to injury, Saka and Smith Rowe. It's for a club of Arsenal stature to be relying on your youngsters to bail you out rather than experienced players. I think it's a big issue. Mark made the point in the chat that if Xhaka, is our best player, then we have got problems. I'm going to come to him a tiny bit later, but yeah, that performance, we didn't look like scoring, to be honest. If we was going to score, it was going to be from a set piece or a free kick. I think if Palace had gone on to win that game, for example, I wouldn't have complained, because I think they look more dangerous. You can, people, they only had 30% possession, but in the first half, they had 9 shots to our 2. How can you have over 60% possession at home against a team that sit deep or want to play on the counter, and they've had more shots than you? So something's not right there. Absolutely not. But Ryan, let me come to you. What did you make of the exciting game last week against Palace?
Oh, it was fantastic, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant football from the boys. I mean, Crystal Palace. Oh, sorry, wrong game. I predicted a draw because
same here. You're right.
Yeah, we both did, in fact. Actually,
did. Yeah.
Sadly for me, I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be goals. But you thought, what did you think? 1-1, didn't it?
I went 1-1. Yeah, I just even though we had a bit of momentum, the fixture, we haven't beaten them in, I think, is it 4 or 5 Premier League games, like a few draws, and it's just Palace play. Yeah, it just I've got to say to the guys in the chat when I did my match preview, I had some intel that Barry Eze wasn't playing, so I don't know what happened there.
Oh my God. You believed it? You believed that? Oh,
no, I didn't believe it, but people were very 100% sure that he weren't playing. But go on, Ryan. Sorry, mate. Go on.
You can't, man. Every time we get stuff like that, that's like when we play Man United in a few weeks' time. Pogba and Bruno are going to be out. Yeah, right. Please. Anyways, the Palace game, I didn't expect too much. It was boring. I mean, AZ Nathan-Niles for me was the worst player on the pitch. If I'm going to be honest, because you're playing him left back. And Joel said it in the stream. Why the hell are we not playing Cedric, who can play left back? He can use both feet.
Yeah.
That just said to me, like, he's probably going to get moved on in the summer,
And even when we do play him, they still play Maitland-Niles play left back and then play Cedric right back, which still doesn't make sense to me. You've got someone that's just he's just a natural fullback, so he can play left or right. I know Maitland-Niles has played there and has played well there, but he's always played there when we're playing wing backs. So it's different, isn't it? Playing a flat back 4 with Niles in there, no, it just wasn't for me.
Sorry, Big Gunner. Sorry to cut you in. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Right, sorry. You've brought me onto it nicely, actually, because there's 2 players I want to talk about in particular in that game, because as you guys know, with Twitter world, it can be an interesting place. And I watched a few live streams to some people's channels in terms of player ratings after the games. Big Gun, I think I saw you on them. I can't remember which channel it was, but yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not saying I'm some football expert who's got, who's related to someone that works in Opta, but like, I was baffled by some of the player ratings I saw being given to some of the players. I've got to be honest, but
yeah, the one that I was on, that was mad. That man was just
we'll have a chat off camera.
Yeah, that man, they were buzzing. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even know what set I was smoking that day. I went back and watched it.
Tell me
it was just too much.
No,
it's off camera thing, man.
Yeah, but I want to sort of stick with I want to stick with Maitland-Niles. I understand. Let me give you a bit of context before I put it to Ryan. He's not played a lot of football. Firstly, he comes in at left back. Obviously, the other night. Some people say that the reason why performance wasn't that great was because obviously he's not had no game time, rustiness, whatever. Where do you do you lean to the side of that, or do you just look at it and think, well, no, actually, you know what? I take them things into consideration, but that performance is good enough. Where do you sit with the way he played on against Crystal Palace?
With your last point, I mean, did everybody forget he came on for the rest of the West Brom game? Did everybody forget about that? Bellerin got substituted in like 50 odd minutes.
Yeah, he came on for like 40 minutes, didn't he?
And on top of that, I mean, it wasn't a good performance. Let's be honest. The guy has not, yes, he hasn't been played much. I understand that. And we've been calling for AZ Maitland-Niles to get more game time, especially in the midfield when we're seeing the likes of Granit Xhaka and El Neni during Partey's absence. But that game told me, like, again, why did we keep this guy? And I was one of those people that felt, no, I think he did okay enough to deserve one more season, a chance to, show Mikel Arteta and some of the Arsenal fans, yeah, I'm worth something as a utility man. I'm worth it, but no. Because how the hell did he ended up nearly scoring an own goal with that dreadful back pass?
When I saw that.
Did everybody forget about that? That was bad. His run was poor. His
I think
bad. I just felt
it's just harsh, isn't it? That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Like, you've just gotta either put him in the position that he wants to play, or don't play him.
You sell him.
Just sell him.
Exactly.
Like, don't keep him when he could have gone and started playing for someone else. We keep him, and then we start messing about with his career, because that's all we're doing. We're just messing him about. Unless you're gonna play him and play him in a position he wants, don't keep him. There's no, like, we're literally just killing his career, to be honest. And I think that's what we're getting from his performances now, because he doesn't. I know he's always been laid back, but now he just looks disinterested, and I don't blame him. I honestly don't blame him, because why have you kept me to then play me in? Not even to play me right back, to play me left back. That's just like, for me, that's just like, you're mugging me off. I would be, if I was him, I wouldn't be. Like, it would just be hard to motivate yourself in it.
Yeah, Joe, let me get you. Go on.
Albert, you said it a few years ago, where you're like, if I was AZ Maitland-Niles, I'll be on the manager's door and say, why did you keep me? Tell me.
Tell me.
Well, let's be honest.
Go on, Joe. Go on, bro. Go on, Joe.
He was pretty much out the door. In the summer. Let's remember that he was pretty much out the door, and his mind was pretty much made up, and so was the managers. Well, I don't know if it was the managers, because Arteta, I think, wanted to keep him in the end. But you think, Tottenham were interested. There was a few other clubs that were really interested in him. And you think, I think it could come to the summer, and I think he could go.
Yeah, he will be gone. He will be silly to stay.
You bought in Cedric on a 4-year deal, and you're not using him, and he's a fullback. Like, if you're going to play Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and don't get me wrong, I like the kid, I really do, but if you're going to play him, I think you've got to stick him next to Partey. I think you'd bring the best out of the kid. I think
it's a good shout.
Don't stick him. Don't stick him at. He didn't do too bad at right back, but when you're sticking him at left back, and there's a fullback there that can play, it just don't make sense to me. It's mismanagement, in my opinion. I don't think
against Eze and Zaha as well.
I don't think you can blame Ainsley completely. Yeah, his performances haven't been great, but we're sticking him in places almost like we'll chuck Ains on just to cover. He's becoming a cover man rather than anywhere else. Yeah, it was Wolves, wasn't it, as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I think they would have paid about 20 mil for him.
Yeah.
You've got to weigh it up. You've got to weigh it up. I think it will happen in the summer.
I think Arsenal wanted about 20, but I think Wolves are sort of kind of a bit under the radar for like about, was it 15, 16 million quid? I think they sort of offered originally. But yeah, no, Ryan, I'm glad you brought it up. I did make that point. I said, if I was Maitland-Niles, listen, I won't be knocking on the manager's door. I'll kick the door in and say, like, why have you? Listen, I said, you see my content, like with Big Gunner. I'll be interested to know what you think, mate. Like a lot of, I would say a lot of Arsenal fans, if you're going just purely by social media, have an attachment to these players, whether they've come through the academy or they've come from abroad or wherever. They have like a love for these players that it's almost like they have it more for the love for the players in the club. Like I don't have sentiment. 100%. I don't have that type of sentiment for a lot of these group of players. I'm being honest with you. Yeah, back in the day when Rocastle and Brighton and people. I get it with them guys, but these group of players, I don't have that. So when Maitland-Niles would link with a move away, I was like, you know what? What's the offer? Take the money.
If the money's there.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, because so what social media has done is give people a voice, and sometimes like the younger people just run with whoever's famous at the time, whoever's got the most followers, they just run with whatever they're saying. Yeah. And I keep telling them, you guys weren't around when we had players like Ian Selly and Eddie McGoldrick and Glenn Helder and people like that. So Hillier, you don't really know, like you don't really know, innit? So
good point. Very good point.
Yeah, like even just down to like the whole Balogun thing, I'm like, I've never seen the guy play football. Like obviously we've seen is like 2-3 Europa League game. So if he's knocking on the door on the manager and saying I should be playing, like who are you? Like what have you done? What's your CV? You can't at 19. You cannot. Like I can understand you being frustrated, but you're 19. Learn how to play the game first, and then come. So I don't have like no attachment to none of these guys. I'm just like, okay, if he leaves, isn't it? Like people are going mad about Balogun and Nketiah and all these people. I'm just like, okay, let them prove. If in 5 years Balogun's the leading top scorer in the Premiership, then we've made a mistake. If he's gone, but if in 10 years or so and he hasn't done nothing, it's going to be another correct decision. Like all of the other youngsters that we've had and let go and haven't done nothing. Remember, like Jay Emmanuel and Simpson and those sort of people. Everybody was like, yeah, these guys are going. David Bentley, the next Dennis Bergkamp when he scored that chip that time at Highbury. Where are these guys now? They don't even make it to 33. So all I can say is I'm for the team. I'm for the club. I'm not for a player.
Yeah.
I have no attachment. Apart from Ian Wright, I have no attachment.
Yeah, Big Gun. You know what it is? Like, Joe Ryan and Big Gun. You know what it is? I think with the Balogun thing quickly, that I'm going to come off that, but I'm going to say my piece and we'll move on to the other player I want to talk about. But I think with the Balogun thing, I think the frustration for a lot of Arsenal fans, yes, potential is one thing, but you've got to be given game time. I understand that. But I think where they see Eddie, I think he's had a lot of chances, to be honest, in the first team, going back to even last season. And I just think they're kind of looking at thinking, obviously, Arteta doesn't fancy him. He quite clearly he doesn't. Because
what did Eddie do that he hasn't done? He went out and done a loan. He went and done a loan. So he showed that he went out and said, I'm willing to go and get better to come back and play for you guys. I think if Balogun does that, like takes a loan and comes back, like I think he should sign a 2-year contract and go out for 6 months or whatever and show us that you deserve to play for us. Like you can't say what someone does in the training is good enough to play in the first team. I get what you mean. Like, just on the glimpses we've seen, he's got more to his game than Eddie. I keep saying Eddie is like, he's a striker from 10, 15 years ago where all he does is get tap-ins. But the way football, the way football has evolved now, you have to have more to your game. And just the glimpses we saw of Balogun where he held off the ball and set people up, and he's got more to his game than Eddie. But I think, like, if you do love the club and you do want to play for us, take a loan, get better for 6 months, and then come back. That's just, if he doesn't want to do that, then just get rid of him. Like, so that's all we can do, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing that kind of puzzled me a little bit, I'm going to bring you in, Joel, is that I know Arsenal were not particularly very happy with Leeds, because when they sent Nketiah there,
they thought he was going to get more game.
He hardly played. So I think I'll take your point, Big Gunner, but I think that's where
he got goals as well, innit? So that was the issue. He was still scoring. So I just want to see a bit of ambition from Balogun, in the sense that if you do want to play for us, just get a little loan. Like, we've had loads of players that have done it. Emil Smith-Rowe, perfect example, went out on loan to the Championship last season and come back.
He did a right Huddersfield, yeah.
And then he's come back. Like, that's all I want to see from my young players, is that you're willing to take a little loan, whether it's for 6 months or for a whole season. Nelson done it. Like, so a lot of people have done it. Like, just show the same. But I mean, just the glimpses that we have seen shows that he is better than Nketiah. So that's probably where people are getting a bit annoyed in it. But
sorry, John, let me bring you in. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. My only issue with Nketiah is the fact that every shirt you put him in, apart from an Arsenal shirt, he seems to perform. You know, you put him in a lead shirt, he didn't get a great deal of game time, but they loved him. They wanted him. He played really well. You know,
it's levels, isn't it?
You stick him in an England shirt, he breaks a record. But you stick him in an Arsenal shirt and he can't find the net.
Yeah,
I think it's just frustrating, because you think, I know I completely get you, like, Big Gunner, with the Balogun thing. You know, if you want to show commitment, then you show to the club that you want to be there,
100%,
and you prove yourself. But at the same time, you think even Eddie got the occasional chance before the loans and stuff, and that's why he went on loan. But Balogun's come on, and every time he's come on, he's either got an assist, scored, or put in a good performance. So you kind of think it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. But I think personally, I should cash in on Eddie.
Yeah.
And you know, give Balogun that 2 year. Send him out for the 6 months and then bring him back, and we're no sort of less down on anyone, really, because it's going to be interesting what they do with Laka coming up to the summer.
They've got a big call. Yes,
the contract, you know, is coming down to a year, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
So it's kind of like, do they do the Aubameyang thing again? Because is he going to want to sit there on the same wage packet when Aubameyang's just got the bump?
I don't think he would do that. I don't think Lacazette is the same. I think this is where I think agents and other people. He could do it, but I don't think he would. And I don't think he's been, as much as I love him, I don't think the club have rated him that highly enough to do what they've done for Aubameyang for Lacazette. I think they would just, if they get a half decent bid in the summer, I think they'll take it. I just think all of these people, if they do come in for him, just get the money now, because once someone goes over 30, I mean, I don't think he scored over 15 goals for us in a Premier League season. So it's just a hard one, isn't it? Like, he's been our better striker this season, because he can do more than Aubameyang. But we need a 20 goal a season guy right now.
No, I understand that. Yeah, guys, I want to quickly get your guys. Thanks to you guys in the, your comments in the chat. Appreciate it. The real captains in there. DWTT, Gary, Russ is in there. Sam Green was in there. Guys, appreciate the comments, man. I want to quickly touch on one player, and I want to spend briefly. I want to spend time on him, to be honest. Oh man,
you said that at the start.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. No, didn't bring Ryan back. And he's timed it well. Yeah, Ryan, you're back.
Yeah,
Ryan, you're up. Yeah.
He got a camera upgrade as well.
That my internet just went.
He got a camera upgrade, man.
You're in Albert's box.
No, I'm
Yeah.
using my phone. No, I'm using
No,
my
but-
phone. My laptop
yeah.
just went.
I want to quickly touch on one player, and because I want to wrap up soon. But Granit Xhaka's performance the other night against Palace. Now, I saw a lot of differing views. I heard people say he's man of the match. I saw people say he was terrible. Toss a coin. Ryan, I'm gonna start with you. What did you make of his performance the other night?
I'll be honest. I said in my video, he was one of the better players, but that doesn't mean it was a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he made a lot of mistakes,
Oh,
and he saved us quite a bit. But at the same time, someone else said it, and it pointed out to me where I thought that's also true. He put us in those mistakes in the first place.
Yeah.
This is what I was going to say.
Like,
He took himself from an 8 to a 6.
yeah. Go on,
That's
big
what
man.
I'm saying.
I was going to say, he took himself from an 8 to a 6. He was rectifying his own mistakes, which is what I was arguing about on the other show that you were talking about. Is that
Briefly, yeah.
you made the mistakes, so if you rectify them, that's your problem. Like, if you never made them, you wouldn't have nothing to rectify, would you?
I need
So-
to know that show you was on. I really
It's just like someone gave him someone gave him an 8 in it. So it just kicked off when
Eight?
someone gave him an 8.
I
You're
think
still
it was
thinking about
Sam.
Yeah.
free kick, innit? That's
Go on.
probably why.
Yeah. I think it was Sam, wasn't it, Ryan, that turned around and said basically he was his own worst enemy because he was he'd literally pass a sloppy ball and then have to run after the guy to go and get it.
Yeah, basically that was it.
It was mad.
That was it.
Yeah, but I want to. Yeah, I want to sort of incorporate sort of about Xhaka, Maitland-Niles, and the team performance the other night. I've always said this with Ainsley. Funny enough, that and not just the game the other night. Like I think to myself as a professional footballer, and I'm not talking about hitting Stevie Gerrard Hollywood passes when he played for England when he back in the day or 50-yard diagonals. I'm talking about basic 5-10 yard passes. It's terrible. I think for a professional footballer, it's not good enough. Like
Standard.
and some of the passing I saw the other night from Arsenal, I'm sorry, was appalling. It was terrible. I said in my match review that I should have had a tally chart for the amount of time Bellerin passed the ball backwards. I couldn't believe it what I was seeing. But yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap up now. The final thing I want to ask you: score predictions for Newcastle on Monday. Now, this is one game I'm not looking forward to. I'll be honest with you because I knew what the FA Cup game was going to be like, and it was what it was like. I think the same thing's going to be the same thing on Monday. So, Big Gunner, what are you saying, man? What score prediction are you going for?
I'm gonna go 3-1 because just for the fact that they're gonna have players back and we're gonna have players back from the game. But I think the players that we're gonna be playing in this game are better than the guys that they're bringing back. I mean, they've only got Callum Wilson, to be honest. Although Andy Carroll was their best player in that game, like he was their best left back, best centre back, best striker. He was just everything.
I was shocked he played 120 minutes. I couldn't believe it.
You know, that's the fourth time he's played 90 minutes in 6 seasons.
That's
The
that
fourth
is
time.
horrendous.
So that was a good performance for him. But I think if we've got Tierney back or Martinelli, one of those two, I can see us winning 3-1.
Yeah. Well, that's quite a bold score, boy. I'm not looking forward to it.
Everybody laughed at me when I said Arsenal were gonna steamroll Chelsea, and look what happened. Everyone was laughing at me, and then look what happened.
But you said it earlier, yourself, Gunner. This season in the Premier League, for results is just it's something else, man.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. So Joe, that's right. 3-1 to big. Joe, what are you saying score wise, mate?
Well, normally I'm the positive one. Ryan gets me for it every time. But I'm going 1-0.
It could be tight.
I think it's going to be one of those games. And Big Gunner's right. I think if you do play your Gabriel and Partey from the start, I think they're going to make a massive difference. But I think Newcastle are just one of those teams, and like you say, it's a Steve Bruce thing.
Yeah,
they're all behind the ball, and it's just gonna be one of those games. You know, FA Cup, it was 0-0 for 90 minutes, so I think it's just going to be a 1-0 Arsenal.
Okay, Ryan, coming to you, man. What's your prediction, mate?
I'm gonna have to agree with Joel.
What?
I think it's probably I know. I'm shocked. I was holding my breath when you said 1-0.
This is the first time ever.
I know, right? I don't know. On the real, it's crazy, isn't it? But on the real, like, you know, Tierney has to be back. I mean, it shows how important he is. As much as I, want the hashtag Tierney for captain, make sure you get that out, guys. You know, as much as I really want that happening, Tierney's so important. It showed us against Crystal Palace how we missed him.
And that's a worry, by the way.
That is a worry because
big worry.
it shows us we need another left back.
It's a worry for everyone though, because you can't replace Trent and you can't replace Robinson. So I think the way these teams are playing now, exception with Man United, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka can't attack anyway, so it doesn't really miss. But when a lot of your attacks come from your fullbacks, it's just, if you don't have a sufficient backup, which I don't think many teams do, for an attacking fullback, it was just a massive problem for us. So a half-fit him is better than Ainsley at the moment.
Exactly. And putting Saka there when we need Saka forward.
So Ryan, you say you got 1-0, did you say?
I'm going 1-0.
Oh god, what am I gonna go for?
Another draw, Albert?
No. I said in our next 2 Premier League games, I think we'll take 4 points out of 6. So we got the draw against Palace. I said we beat Newcastle. Score wise, I'm gonna go for 2-0.
Right.
Yeah, for 2-0. I can't see them scoring. Like I said, we're not Newcastle fans, but I know some Newcastle fans, and boy, I feel for them, man. The football they have to watch is diabolical. It's terrible.
Is St. Maximin back?
Huh? He's back. I heard he's back in trade.
They got excited. They were all putting up pictures today, innit? And they were all excited. I've never seen so many of them where they were going mad. It was just a picture of his boots. It's just a picture of his boots, and they were going mad.
No, we need to be careful. On the road, him and kind of see people. I'm kind of like,
I'm not scared of him, to be fair.
No, hey, have you seen? Listen, our defense has been all right, but
I'm not scared of him.
I'll be shocked. I'll be surprised if he plays on Monday. But even
he's Jovino at best.
Oh God, that's not a compliment. That's not a compliment at all.
You know what? Yeah, we used to get magic from Jovino some weeks. I remember that Chelsea game. Like, we used to get magic from him some weeks.
Well, I have to go into the archives to remember them.
Yeah, go into the archives, man. I was a big Jovino fan with that forehead thing.
I think I could access storage them archives.
So what? Is your video better than Pepe then? I'm asking you now.
Or for Arsenal? Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with
hands down. Hands down.
Definitely. But all I'll say is, right, with Jovino had bags and bags full of skill. He'd get you to the byline,
did he?
But then he didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And he read off the pitch half the time.
Yeah. He'd just keep running. It was like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Fake.
And Pepe, I don't know, mate. He seems to play tricks with himself.
We'll save that subject for another.
We're not long enough for Pepe, man.
You know what?
We did a whole episode for him.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Albert, I'm looking forward to the episode of when we do Pepe versus Jovino.
Can you imagine? I still got to do the Arsene Wenger book. What I thought of it. Yeah, bloody hell. But no, now, guys, I appreciate you coming on, man. Quality live stream.
Man.
Chat. So, guys, where can they find you on your social media and YouTube channels? If you've got them, I'm going to start with Joe. Where can the guys find you? That way. That's it, mate. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Go follow my guy, Joe, man. Please do.
Yeah, it's all good fun.
Big Gunner, first time on my channel. Appreciate you coming on, man. You speak sense, man. I've seen you on a few episodes. So, where can the guys find you, my friend?
Yeah, so on YouTube, I'm The Away Day Show, and on Instagram, The Away Day Show, and on YouTube, I'm The Big Gunner.
Nice one, bro. Ryan, my anchor man in the last show. That was a fun one, man. That was a
Yeah,
fun.
we got to do that again, bro.
The Tottenham lads were funny. Yeah, that was a laugh. But, you're right. Where can the guys find you, my friend?
You can find me on Instagram as well as YouTube, Ryan Williams AFC, and on Twitter, RJ Wills. Give us a shout, guys.
Guys, there you have it. Follow my esteemed guests on their social media. Guys, as you know, Albert JTV. My Twitter handle is on the screen. Come and subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and the rest of it. So that is me over and out. # Albert JTV.